sportsblitzparts.com.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. See Mid-South Lumber for all of your DIY projects, including windows, doors, siding, lumber, and millwork. Are you building a new home? Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, and doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. 717 West 11th Street.
Looking for the most romantic night out in Panama City? Ferrucci Ristorante is your destination for authentic Italian cuisine and unforgettable moments. The candlelight, the wine, the homemade pasta. It's like a little slice of Italy. From handcrafted sauces to centuries-old recipes, Ferrucci brings true Italian flavor to every plate. It's where love stories begin and anniversaries are celebrated. To reserve your table, call 850-913-9131. Ferrucci Ristorante, Panama City's most romantic escape.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
The 2025 Atlanta Braves always find the will to battle back, and they're looking to close the year out strong.
Michael Harris has something to say. Belts one to deep right field, and long gone.
Tonight, be here for the final series of the 2025 season as Ozzy Albies and the Braves close out the year against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Braves pregame 6 o'clock. First pitch 6:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida. And now, the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host.
Hey, there's the new guy.
Paul Wilson.
That is not winning football.
Paul is your pipeline to the heart of the action.
Billy Napier's play calling sucks. He's a terrible head coach.
Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
I'm blown away how bad Florida is. As a Seminole fan, I'm enjoying it.
The Sports Blitz.
You better be able to run the football against Georgia or you're going to be finding yourself in a big, big, big hole.
The new Sports Blitz.
This is a problem for Alabama.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What time it is. It's 4 o'clock on a Friday, and it's the Sports Blitz time with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're so glad that you decided to join us on this Friday. We made it to the weekend. We're pumped up, primed up, and ready for some awesome action to talk about today. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. As always, on a Friday, we got LSU Jeff in the house. Jeff, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. A little rainy this morning at work and everything, but, you know, I survived.
Yeah, you fixed your hair and got it ready. Yesterday you was wearing the LSU hat.
Yeah.
So now you're ready to go.
I like the Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
How to have that, and put it across the field, too. So
yeah, it's pretty unique.
You know, I've always thought about that Alabama A.
Yeah.
Is it looks too close to the Braves. Yeah. Except they got the mullet.
It's got the mullet in the back.
Yeah.
That's all the difference.
Yeah. I don't like that they're so closely resembled. A lot of people look at it and they're like, oh,
is that Alabama or the Braves?
Yeah, exactly. They're wondering.
That's non-football fans for you, though.
Well, non-football. No, I think they're just all around, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't really care at this moment if you like my logo or not. How about that?
Is there any others that confuse you when you see a logo?
No. It's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all good. And as always, on Friday, we got the Bone Crusher crushing the ones and the twos. What's going on, Bone Crusher?
You can tell the difference between the Alabama A and the Atlanta A because the Alabama A has a little mullet on the back. That's how you
Yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, and so it only goes fit that Alabama people wear the mullet. I mean, that's how you tell the difference, so you know.
Now, what about when like the Redskins were stealing the spear from Florida State? Did you feel like that was like, nah, don't do that? You know?
I didn't think so. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, special guest today, and going forward, we have Bobby Stavos here from CBC Construction. Bobby, good to see you, my friend. How you doing today?
Doing good, Paul. Good to see you again.
Good. And Bobby is a big Miami Hurricane fan. So we got the Hurricanes in the building. We will be talking about that. Bobby, CBC Construction, what is CBC Construction, and what do you guys do?
Well, we are a full general contracting company specializing in underground water, sewer, water utilities, roadways, parking, land clearing, a little bit of it all. We have several big projects here in town. You'll see us downtown Harrison, Sweet Bay, A2 area, just all around a general contracting underground.
Yeah, that's awesome. And when you look at a lot of the projects that have been done, I'm sure there's a bunch of them. I believe Tommy Oliver was one of them that was done by CBC. And the fact is that if there's been stuff built around this area, CBC Construction has been part of it, or at least some of it, or done something like that. So it's really good. So what do you do over there?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a project manager, so I've been with CBC for right at a year now. Managing projects, like I said, Harrison Avenue is a big one. We have a couple projects out at Tyndall. Bay High School, we just did a parking lot over at Bay High School. Just, looking over the projects, make sure things go smoothly.
That's awesome. Yep, that's really good. Well, we got us a caller already, and I recognize the name and where he's coming from on the Red 17's phone line. Bill, are you there with me, my friend?
I'm here, brother. I got a score prediction for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Bill. Give it to me.
All right, the mighty fighting Florida Gators. My Gators are going to go up against the University of BYE. And we're going to lose 35-3.
Oh,
we're going to keep this. We're going to keep the scoring streak alive.
Man, Bill,
35-3. University of BYE Mud Monkeys are going to take it to us.
Oh gosh, Bill. When you think about all of the stuff that's been going on, is this the best time you think for the Gators to have a bye week? I mean, does this kind of stop the bleeding a little bit, or do you think it's just like a prolonged deal now?
No, it's they might as well just go ahead and play some high school in Gainesville or a JUCO. I don't know. The bleeding's it's no. It's no.
Well, we do have some more talking about it when we come to the 420 block, and I want you to listen in on that and give us what you think about that, because
I'll be listening.
We got some deep secrets that are going to be exposed from what I'm hearing.
I've been hearing some secrets too, and I think I know where you're going with this, and I'll elaborate when that time comes.
Sounds good, Bill. Well, thanks for calling, my friend, and I think
don't forget the score tomorrow. Betsy over, way over, because the Mud Monkeys are going to destroy the Fighting Gators.
All right, well, we definitely will. Thank you, Bill, for the call. I appreciate it. That's one of the biggest things, Bobby, coming to the state of Florida, haven't been here very long, just right at 3 years now, is the heart of this fan base of Florida Gators, Florida State, and then on the outskirts, there's the Miami, you know what I mean? And so it's a passion that I had no idea of. Jeff didn't really realize it until he moved here. Now, how long have you been living here, and how long have you been a Miami fan?
So I was born and raised here in Panama City and been a Hurricane fan since I could remember watching football. I remember hiding under the mattress in 01, or celebrating in 01, hiding under the mattress in 02 against Ohio State. So as long as I can remember, I've been a Hurricane.
Yeah, and man, that game.
Did you feel like that was stolen?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you think of stolen, you think of what happened last week with Auburn and Oklahoma.
Absolutely.
I know Jeff, he's like, oh, it just happens. It's just part of it. But see, now we can kind of team up on him a little bit, because when you looked at the game against Ohio State and all those Ohio State homers, they were like, oh, yeah, all that. But I'm telling you, that game was totally taken from them. They wanted Ohio State to win that one. It just seemed like it the whole day. So who's your favorite Miami player if you had one to pick? I'll tell you what, you can
Current
go
or all time.
You can go all time, current, and then you can go on offense and defense on either one.
At all times, got to be ST Sean Taylor. He was a living legend.
Yeah.
Just a really good dude in a really bad situation. Offensive player this year, I'd have to go Mark Fletcher. Running back, he's a beast.
Yeah, he is. He runs the football.
Defense has got to be Ruben Bain. He's just a
Yeah, that's who I was going to bring up. So Ruben Bain is the number one edge rusher prospect for this year so far. So really, when you talk about Miami, that's what you talk about. Now, Miami has, Cristobal's done a really good job of bringing in people, but he's also still recruiting very well for the Hurricanes. When you look at this year's team, because of last year's success, and obviously it spurned out of control at the end of the year to miss the playoffs. But when you look at this team, to me, it looks like it's a different team. It doesn't look like a team that doesn't know what they're doing. It seemed like last year's team with Cam Ward. Cam Ward's a great talent. I mean, obviously he's really good. He's doing well to me in the pros, but there's a difference of this year's team. Wouldn't you say that there's a difference with this team than last year?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah,
when something's clicking, whether it's the offense coordinator and more elite receivers, plus having the more knowledgeable quarterback.
Yeah,
it's firing right now.
Yeah, when you look at it, and that's the thing. That's what I was trying to. I had to win Jeff over. It took about three games for them. About Carson Beck, I know you're looking at me sideways.
No. I mean, I never was knocking Carson Beck.
You just wasn't sold that he was legitimate, like what I've been talking about. Heisman possibility.
You were talking. I don't want to say a little over the top, but yeah, I thought you were a little over the top in selling us that he was a top 3 quarterback in the whole nation.
Yeah,
because that's pretty much what you were saying.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, I don't know about top 3.
Yeah,
but then again, all these quarterbacks have fell off. But I did agree with you that Cade Klubnik was like, not a top 10.
Yeah.
And, he's fell off the face of the earth.
And that's what, when you look at this year's team compared to last year's team, it is a quarterback-driven styled offense. However, you're mentioning the running back. You're mentioning defensive players that are highly regarded as being first-round draft pick possibilities. This team has all of the ingredients to do better than they did last year. And I believe last year they didn't really know their identity. This year they kind of understand what their identity is. They are a team that's built up more than just the quarterback. The quarterback is just part of what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's kind of, when you look at the way they play the game, obviously Mario Cristobal being the offensive line coach at Alabama, by the way. Just wanted to throw that in there for Jeffrey. But having to win in the trenches. So this team's more built like an SEC team than they have been in years past. And I think that's the biggest key to making sure that you are able to win those games. Now, what surprised you more, Jeffrey, about Miami? The way they handled USF after being so highly regarded, or the way they just come and took care of business against Florida?
Well, Notre Dame and the South Florida game impressed me more than the Florida Gators game.
Right.
Because the Florida Gators are already on their knees begging,
Yeah.
And in South Florida, they had a heads up because they had beat Boise, right? And they had beat the Gators by 2 points. Close game. But, 49-12 on South Florida? They killed them. And then that Notre Dame game, we're not knocking off that. Look, I'm not saying that the Gators are going 10-2. But if they are going 10-2 like they did last year, and they have that win head on against a Notre Dame team who has 2 losses right now, who do you think's getting in the playoffs? It's the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
And the Notre Dame will be left out.
Yeah.
And that's a possible scenario. But what's also, I guess, enlightening to me is that I thought last year when they lost at Georgia Tech and at Syracuse, I was thinking those are below mid teams in the ACC. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? Guess what we know this year?
They're not.
They're not. They're above average in the ACC.
Yeah.
And so losing on the road, I don't think that those were huge upsets now because they were both on the road. And these are two teams that have pulled off upsets this year and look good.
Yeah.
So then my thought process on, losing 2 of the last 3 games last year are not so bad anymore.
Yeah, and you got to look at Georgia Tech this year. The whole ACC kind of dynamic is kind of shifting. Where we got Clemson now, we kind of see them as being human now. We don't think at the end of the year we're just going to see them do what they've always done. Yeah. And then now, who's going to take that? And you've got Miami being strong for 2 years consecutive, and now you've got Georgia Tech who's been strong 2 years consecutive, and now you've got new to the party. You got your Florida State, you got your Syracuse, you got your Virginia. You're wondering who's going to be that team. North Carolina State, Louisville, those guys are all kind of right there, and it's just like, man, this year could be the year that the ACC kind of gets like the SEC, meaning they're going to start eating each other up. Yeah. So really, who can get out of the ACC schedule with only 1 or 2 losses and get to the conference championship so that you can win that game and then get your bid to the playoff?
And it's another thing. We forget about SMU and what they did last year and all that. And that is on the slate for Miami this season. They have them on the schedule. This Miami schedule is not soft. No. If you look at it game by game. And that's what Notre Dame, that's another thing that Notre Dame doesn't have, right? All they play is USC. Right. So all the rest of it's like just pretty light.
Yeah. And that's what we used to not see with the ACC. Used to, if they had the ACC of the old, now we would be talking about, their schedule is totally cupcake, but because of the play of the ACC, now that schedule is harder, and then you added, obviously, Notre Dame, we don't know what they're going to do, but you've added that Notre Dame to the strength of schedule. So now Miami's got strength of schedule. So if there is a team out there like a SEC team, a Big Ten team that in times past, history would tell us they're going to get the nod, not so fast, my friend. It's not necessarily going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the 2 big wins over SEC.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at that could possibly catapult you up. Now, when you look at Miami playing Florida State this year, Bobby. Now, obviously, we got the game tonight. We got Florida State versus Virginia tonight. As far as, do you think the way Miami plays right now and seeing what you saw of Florida State, do you think they match up well for Miami's benefit, or do you think they match up well for Florida State's benefit?
I think both. Their quarterback is incredible. His foot game and his eyes down the field has been. We were actually at the Alabama-Florida State game in Tallahassee with my son. He's a big Alabama fan, and Alabama just could not enter him. That place was the loudest I've ever been in. It was just an incredible atmosphere. So Miami having to travel to Tallahassee to be in that atmosphere and deal with that quarterback and his legs, they're going to have to be aggressive up front. And that's where, like you said with Mario, we're going to be tough in the trenches. As long as we can be tough in the trenches, we'll be okay with it.
And that's going to be the key to being able to see what happens tonight. Can Florida State? That's the big question for Florida State. And Florida State fans, I know they're checking in. I've seen some of them check in.
Is it nasty?
No, it's been good so far. It's been cordial. Never knew so many Florida State fans could be so dirty.
When it comes to this matchup,
yeah. So tonight's matchup with Florida State and Virginia, when you look at them, is Florida State going to be a team that can play well on the road? That's my big question mark for tonight's game. That's really when I watch this game tonight, that's my question for this whole game. Can they eke out the third downs? Can they push through on the fourth downs? Is he going to be as effective and electrifying, or is he going to get the jitterbug where he throws the ball away or throws it low or high, or is he inaccurate when he's not at home, when he's not when he's in a hostile environment? Because tonight, I kind of feel like Virginia's going to bring the crowd. I think they realize the magnitude of this game.
They definitely realize this is the team that you want to beat. Gus Malzahn, he's going to, I feel like to date, he has not pulled out his plays like back in his Auburn days. Next week, true. Miami, Florida State, I think you're going to have a show. As long as Miami can, like I said, be tough on defense, be smart, be disciplined.
Were you disappointed with his UCF, time down in Central Florida?
I've never been a big Gus Malzahn fan, but I think there's guys that are good head coaches, and I think there's guys that are great offensive coordinators, and I would put him in that bracket because I think the guy knows what he's doing. I think he's been around the game long enough. And it does take a specific, and we talked about this on Tuesday with Taylor, way back. With Gus Malzahn, you got to have a specific style of quarterback for his offense to really be effective. Yep. And I believe, like what you said, Tommy Castellanos is that kind of quarterback. Yeah. And so when you look at Carson Beck, when you look at what he's done and how he's come back from the injury, I mean, he looks like he's in the form that he was at pre the injury for sure, but he looks like he's in better form than he was. It just seems like he's matured more. Would you say that? Because obviously you saw last year against Georgia and Alabama whenever he looked really bad in the first half, but then he single-handedly, whether people remember this or not, but he single-handedly brought them back. He was dropping dimes like Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones style, with Georgia. Do you think that, does it seem like he's just better this year?
He seems a lot more poised, and he's got more time in the pocket. And I've said all year, people, believe in hype a little early. I've never been one to really buy in the hype, but obviously you want to believe in your team. But he definitely has more time in the pocket, whether that's not having to play Alabama every season, having to play LSU every season, maybe that has a lot to do with it. But I also think our offensive line is just, they're goats this year. They're going after it. But Beck himself, he just seems more zoned in, more mature, more poised in the pocket.
See, and I think that's going to be the key for Miami. I think with him being able to go to places like Alabama, he's been to Florida, he's been to all these places when he was playing with Georgia, with the hostile environment. I think his leadership at Florida State next weekend, he'll be able to help those younger kids, because he is older. Yep. So he's a grown man. He's older, and so that's the thing. I think that's going to be the biggest thing for Miami. I don't want to tip my hat because Jeff, he tends to steal my picks sometimes when we do our college pick.
Actually, I think that's going to be interesting for next week, because guess what the Hurricanes haven't done?
Played on the road.
You got it. And they got the only other ones worried about other than the Florida State one is SMU and Pitt. Because I'm not worried about a Virginia Tech. They're playing with an interim coach, and they can't even beat Old Dominion. Right. So they're on the ropes.
Yeah, and I'm not scared about SMU, and I'm not scared about Pitt at all. There's zero concern.
This is a one-pony show right here. Yes, you're looking at on the road. Don't want to. I'm not saying you can't lose at home, because we've seen crazy stuff happen.
Yeah, but if you look at with Miami though, they're one of the teams that has the. I would just say has the luxury of being able to lose against Florida State. Obviously, you never want to go into a season losing.
Yeah, don't talk about losing to him.
But with that schedule, with the way it's set up, they could go easily one loss, and that mean nothing to them, and them being right back into the ACC championship, just like what Georgia did to Alabama a few years back. Remember, they lost to Alabama, and then they went into the SEC championship and beat Alabama. So that's kind of, I can see that lining up.
Remember that LSU Alabama game? LSU won, 9-6, and Alabama come back later on and took care of them.
Didn't even let them pass the 50-yard line, I believe.
2011, he would not switch out and go to Lee as the backup quarterback. And Jefferson was just god-awful. Yeah. He even did a little shuffle pass and it went right to the Alabama guy. And I was like, what are you doing? This is awful, man.
Yeah.
He would never make the substitution, because we had two quarterbacks that year.
Yeah, I remember.
And Jarrett Lee was the backup, and he was good.
He would never play him.
He never did swap out. I think he was worried about recruiting, believe it or not.
Probably.
Because he knew his younger brother was a wide receiver.
Justin Jefferson was coming.
And then that was like Destrehan High School and everything. It was kind of like a feeder area to LSU. And, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way it works.
Only national title we lost in football.
Yeah.
The only time.
Well,
it's memorable. It's a scar.
Yeah.
I got scars.
Yeah, for sure. But, you haven't made it there too many times to be bragging on not losing.
Oh, we won 4.
Yeah. That's good.
Pretty dang good. You give me 4-1, 80% win percentage in national championship.
Yeah, but 4 years out of how many years?
Yeah, well, I mean, who else has done that in SEC?
I don't know. We'll have to look.
Maybe the Gators.
Of course, yeah, I would think so.
And then Georgia's like 3-2. Mm-hmm. So they're not even 80%.
No.
Yeah.
Does it make you feel good?
It makes me feel good.
Good.
We're better than Auburn. Any day.
All right, well, we're going to have to take our break. And when we come back, we are going to talk about them Gators. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Red 70s studio line is now open. 850-215-6290. Have you ever wanted to reach out and smack someone?
Sit your ass down and shut up!
The new Sports Blitz. Rants, hot takes, and huge reactions are incoming.
You've got to have a bad game at some point.
Feel the burn.
This is unacceptable at the University of Alabama.
The Red 70s studio line.
This could go 7 games.
850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. Get in the game.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The rest of the day, a likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly clouds and a temperature of 80 with wind 8 to 12 miles per hour out of the south. A mixture of mostly clear skies and very light showers tonight, very little wind and warm near 73. Sunny and 85 tomorrow. 86 and sunshine with a gentle breeze Sunday. This is your Friday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida, Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
College Football Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's a top 10 showdown in the Big Ten. 6th-ranked Oregon travels to Happy Valley to face number 3 Penn State in the whiteout game.
One of the best atmospheres in all of college football. This is the best atmosphere.
We've played in good environments before. They described it as a good one. Number 6 Oregon at 3rd-ranked Penn State.
Coverage starts Saturday at 6 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You've found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. The phone lines are open, the opinions are flowing, and the arguments are just getting started.
You cannot give LSU extra opportunities. With just one loss, they can sneak in there. They're playing championship football.
The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson is back, and we're putting you in the game.
He has not turned the ball over.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's Friday. We're having a great time. We've been talking about them Hurricanes. Don't forget, you can call in. You can text in on the Red 70s phone line, 850-215-6290. We got some awesome coverage this weekend. Don't forget Auburn at Texas A&M. Coverage starts at 1:30. Kickoffs at 2:30 right here on the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. As always on Friday, we got Chris Hobbzilla on the phone line. We're going to be talking about them Gators. I know they got an off week. Chris, how you doing today, my friend?
What's up, guys? I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Man, we're having a blast. We just got to talk about some Miami Hurricane stuff, and I'm sure you are all ears listening to all the stuff that we had to say great about them Hurricanes.
Oh, yeah. I'm always listening in about the Hurricanes.
Well, Chris, we got to dive into this thing about the Gators. Now, we all thought that there was a possibility that Billy Napier could go as soon as Sunday, and obviously that didn't happen. And then some people said, well, it's going to be Monday, and it didn't happen, and now we're here now on Friday, and it still hasn't happened. Where are you at as far as, like, what you've been hearing as far as the job of Billy Napier?
Well, I mean, honestly, what I'm hearing as of now is it's pretty much over. It's just, got to run its course, basically. Now, does that mean firing him after Texas? I don't know. But, I mean, I could see it going as long as to the end of the season for his buyout purposes. Gets a little cheaper for Florida.
Yeah, and that's something that I was wondering about. And then the other thing that we discussed, because it was, 21 before the last game, it was $21 million, I believe. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay, so before it was $21 million, and then if he gets to Texas, do you know how much further it goes down? Or is it a lot, or is it a little bit?
He has to complete I really feel like he's got to complete the season pretty much for it to go down much. They're just trying to keep the team, and they spend a ton of money recruiting, so they're wanting to keep a little bit of of course the recruits they have. So that's playing a factor in the time and everything.
Yeah. So the other part of it to me is that it's the recruits, because that's one thing, and we've talked about this. Billy Napier has done some good things down there at Florida or over there at Florida, and being able to recruit is one of those things. I mean, there's 5-stars everywhere you turn on that field, and even in the depth positions. So do you believe that's probably the biggest reason why they haven't moved on from him? Because obviously, come on, we're talking about the University of Florida. They've got plenty of boosters that's got money to be able to pay this man and get him out of there, just like A&M, just like all the other people that have paid those coaches to get out of town. I mean, would you say that's the number one thing, is the 5-stars that they've got there right now and the ones that are coming?
Yes, I agree with that. Is that they're trying to hold on to them,
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Have you been hearing who is going to be the guy? Because I know that on air and online, there's been a lot of people talking, and, we've heard Lane Kiffin, we've heard John Gruden, we've even heard Jimbo Fisher, Jeff said Coach O. I mean, there's all kinds of names being thrown around. How about, well, first I'll finish with the question. Who do you think is coming?
Well, I mean, I told you last time, I believe Lane Kiffin. I mean, a lot of people have said, watch the documentary, and you'll see Lane's not going anywhere. But all I saw was Lane leaving every 4 years, wherever he went, pretty much, besides being at home at Ole Miss at the very end. But, recently some news has broke about last year, we were going to hire Lane Kiffin before October kicked in. And basically Billy went on a little hot streak, so we let him run, with it and everything. But we were going to hire Lane then, and that's, definitely somebody to keep in high regard of because they're not going to go for another Billy Napier, Raging Cajuns type coach. They're going to have someone of pedigree. And a lot of people are not going to believe me when I say this, but I've heard that the old ball coach and Urban Meyer have actually been doing some talking.
Oh, wow. Meaning what? Urban coming back?
Urban Meyer
coming back.
Oh, man. Now, as a Gator fan, how do you feel about that, Chris?
Honestly, I feel great about it. I mean, if he came back for 2 years and won a bunch of games and decided to leave again, that would be okay with me. Save the seat for Lane, I'm just being honest. But there's a lot of old school Gator fans that, think it's got to be a marriage every time you get a coach and things like that, that they've got to stay, unless they don't win games and things like that. And me personally, I like the idea of Urban coming back to plug and play roster, you know?
Okay, let's be honest. Lane Kiffin, the 4-year thing, USC showed him the door. And Florida Atlantic, he was going for higher ground. And he sure the heck didn't stay 4 years in Tennessee. I mean, that was like one and done. He was out of there.
Well, I was just saying he normally has a short tenure was all I was saying.
Well, I think he's trying to look to settle down. And that's Ole Miss is kind of an easy place to settle down because the pressure's not a pressure cooker.
No, I agree with that, but I'm just saying I'm not ruling it out as long as, you know, that's what people are telling me. And I would like to say that both times my sources told me something similar to this, like it has taken, you know, just a few hours before it was trending online. And that's been with big things like, just for instance, DJ was going to be in a boot. You know, they just said that before the Texas game. He told me, he's like, oh, just wait, it's going to come out. DJ's in a boot again. Boom, it happened. The same thing happened with Lane Kiffin information. He was telling me, you know, hey, it looks like we're probably going to get possibly Lane, you know. And then it comes down to, hey, we were trying to hire Lane. He told me that last year, you know, but Scott didn't like that. And that news broke immediately right after we spoke. So I'm going to trust him.
Yeah, well, let me read some of this. One of our Facebook viewers, Bill McWhirter, he said in this era, portal era, recruits don't matter. Look at what Lane does at Ole Miss. He didn't say miss. No, it wouldn't be okay for 2 years. Terrible idea. Leave Urban on the shelf. Lane will not win a natty at Ole Miss. So, I mean, you've got people that don't want Urban Meyer. And, you know, we've all watched the Swamp Kings on Netflix, and we've seen the culture, and then we saw what happened with Urban Meyer, his last stop at Ohio State. So I'm sure that there's some people there, you know, that are Gator fans that don't want to see Urban Meyer come back. And, I mean, I get what you're saying because really you want to get to that place to where relevance comes and then, you know, whoever is waiting their time to be done to come to Florida, you know, because you believe basically that, you know, if he doesn't come this year, then when will he come as far as when we're talking about Lane Kiffin? Because that's really where – when you look at Lane and you look at what he's got, and see, Jeff, I agree with you to an extent because really Ole Miss has always kind of been there. Look at what Hugh Freeze did with them. It seems like Hugh Freeze did the same exact thing that Lane Kiffin's done. Neither one of them has played for a SEC championship, but they both beat Alabama. They both played good against good teams. They've done the things that, you know, that looks like championship football, but they haven't done it yet. All Lane Kiffin's ever done is win a national title as an offensive coordinator. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, as far what do you think about that, Chris?
I just feel like, you know, with the resources he would have at Florida, it would be, you know, a much bigger. Plus, he's been coaching for so long now that, you know, he's kind of due for something. And, I mean, I get it that he has a daughter at Ole Miss and things like that, but I'm just saying the right amount of money he has his own private jet. It's an hour flight to, you know, Gainesville from there and vice versa, so.
Well, and that's what, you know, for me, that's for him to go somewhere that is expected to win. Like what you were saying, Jeff, Ole Miss, you're not expected to win. You're expected to do good. Mm-hmm. You're expected to do better than your predecessors. Mm-hmm. You're there to beat an Alabama and LSU or
Mississippi State.
Well, yeah, you got to beat Mississippi State. That's true.
They have lost.
I know. But, I mean, you think Mississippi State, when you think Mississippi State, you don't think very good. But what I'm saying is that if you can go 9-3, if you can maybe one day go 10-2 or 8-4,
yeah.
But you in that 8-4, you beat an Alabama, you beat a Georgia, or you beat an LSU who you wasn't supposed to beat, then that kind of makes you look really good. It's almost, Chris, like the job that Mark Stoops has in Kentucky. If you can just beat the teams that you're supposed to beat and then maybe upset someone every once in a while, you'll never have to drive your own car and you'll never have to pay for any food at restaurants when you go.
No, you're right about that. So, I mean, it's all stuff to consider, but I'm just going, like I said, going off of what, the conversations have been. So,
yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that the conversations are there. And like you said, your sources that you're getting it from really hasn't been wrong. So why would you discredit your source now? Let's dive into DJ Lagway, because I know that a lot of people have jumped ship on him. Not a lot, but some. And I know that there's a lot of people that still trust him, still believe in him, even though having the 5 interceptions against LSU. What do you think about DJ right now and the fan base?
Well, I mean, like you said, some of us have, got to the point where, they're, kind of, I don't want to say turning on him, but to a degree it feels that way, But, I mean, I still personally believe in DJ. I just feel like he needs a better offensive line and some fresh play calling.
Yeah, and that's one of those, that's what a lot of people have talked about, is that the play calling would change the whole aspect of DJ. And it's like he's putting him in position to fail. And when you look at a quarterback, when they don't have the right system, the right scheme that fits his abilities and his talent, then you can see them not doing very well. And it's frustrating. And you could see the kids frustrated.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I know you talked to his, like some of his family, and really he's got to be telling people how he's frustrated. You know what I mean?
He is. Here's how gone Billy Napier is. DJ and Vernell Brown 3 have been in the coach's office and told him that, hey, they know our plays. They know our plays. They're blowing up our plays. And, he's still going to call the plays and things like that. So I've heard DJ's had to, ad-lib a little bit out there trying to make things happen that the coach didn't call. So.
Yeah, well, our good friend of the show, Bill, in Covington, Tennessee, he called in earlier, and he gave us their score over this weekend, because he says they're playing BYE. I don't know what that stands for. I'm pretty sure it's probably not something that we could say on the radio.
No, it's just the bye. That's all it is.
I know, but I was thinking maybe he had something kind of funny that he was going to say. I know bye as far as the word, but I was just thinking he was going to dive into it a little deeper.
Bumyuk Egypt.
So either way, he said that they were going to lose the bye game this weekend. So, and I mean, You can't, you kind of have to laugh at this point, because, I mean, really the Gators are just, there's no identity. I mean, the identity is, what we're going to run, and it looks like Pop Warner plays that are getting run by 5-star athletes. And even though they're still great athletes, they still can't, function as an SEC powerhouse, or even, just looking good, like a good football team.
No, I agree. I mean, it's hard to watch, Florida football right now. I mean, you can always count on a jet sweep to be, called, and the offense is just, completely. It's honestly as bad as I remember it ever being.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to watch. I mean, there's some things, and just to think about the LSU game, and just to see how that the defense was so good, and it kept them in the game the whole game. And like, how many games have you seen 5 interceptions and the score be only 10 points? Now, I get it. Jeff's going to say, well, we could have scored right there at the end to make it 17, and I agree with you. But how many games would have already been a blowout going into the fourth quarter, and you'd have started seeing the second and third string players getting playing time?
Yeah, that's valid too.
So, yeah, go ahead.
The Hurricanes the Hurricanes and LSU both beat the Gators by the same amount. And I don't mean by a number. I mean that they were sitting on the ball the last 2 minutes. It was a 17-point win, basically. You know what the Hurricanes did with 2 minutes? They scored a touchdown to take it from 19-7 to 26-7. So essentially, a 19 or 17-point win is about the same.
Yeah.
You know, so Hurricanes, they weren't going to let the foot off the pedal at the end there. They were not going to kneel it out because they hate the Gators.
Oh, yeah.
They hate them. Yeah.
Now, Chris, are you that kind of fan? Would you have said if the roles would have been reversed and y'all were beating Miami like that and y'all had an opportunity to score, would you say, let's go ahead and put one more in the end zone just for fun?
Oh, I'm a Steve Spurrier guy, so yeah, we would have went for 2 or something.
Because you know Jimmy Johnson would have done that when he was at the Hurricanes. You know it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with what they did. I mean, running up the score. It's part of the game. You got to man up and take it.
Did you all remember last year when Brian Kelly lost his mind? When Bama was up by 4 or 5, I think it was 4 or 5 touchdowns, and Bama was passing it downfield. It wasn't anything in a flat. It was downfield, and Brian Kelly lost his mind.
Yeah, I do remember that. And you know what? I hated that. And with that, we're going to take our next break. And when we come back, we're going to dive into a little bit more of this SEC football and the Florida Gators. You're listening to the Sports Blitz here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call or text him now on the Red 7T's studio line. 850-215-6290. Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Coming up on Sunday Night Football, the Green Bay Packers at the Dallas Cowboys.
Prescott loaded up, going deep, has a man, is
Packers, Cowboys, airtime at 6:30. Then on Monday Night Football, the New York Jets at your Miami Dolphins.
It is good!
On your home for the NFL on the Gulf Coast, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Start your fall adventure in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Our SUV family is built for all in adventures and endless possibilities. Stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. You're going to find the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Now offering 0% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or a new 2025 Kia Sportage. Bill Bird Kia, the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. The road is yours in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento or 2025 Kia Sportage with $20.83 per 1,000 financed and 48 months. Quantities limited, cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 9/30/25.
The 2025 Atlanta Braves always find the will to battle back, and they're looking to close the year out strong.
Michael Harris has something to say. Belch one to deep right field and long gone.
Tonight, be here for the final series of the 2025 season as Ozzie Albies and the Braves close out the year against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Braves pregame 6 o'clock. First pitch 6:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. You've got the games, but we've got the breakdown.
That's the difference between a winning football team and a losing football team.
Hot takes, cold truths, and the takedowns that get everyone talking. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson.
Then you're going to run into a big problem.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget the coverage this weekend. On Saturday, you got the Auburn Tigers versus the Texas A&M Aggies. Coverage starts at 1:30. Kickoff is at 2:30 on ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget today you can also call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. There's a lot of people believing in what Jeff is saying, and there's a lot of people that don't. So if you don't, go ahead and give us a call and let us know how you don't agree. Now, I do want to go. We've got Chris Hobzilla on the phone, and we're going to be talking with him a little bit more about this Florida Gator football team, but I want to go to the Facebook page and read some of that. Speaking of jet sweeps, Vernon Hargrave said yesterday on a podcast, this is the SEC. Everyone can run sideline to sideline. He also alluded to how the defense can be tired of how the offense is playing. Also, he said, how can Billy change defensive coordinators and do nothing with the offense? And he also, Bill McWhorter is always in agreement with don't take your foot off of the gas. Score.
Wait, who said don't take the foot off?
Bill McWhorter.
Oh, okay.
He's one of our listeners. So there you go.
They have some breaking news. Defensive end for LSU, Gabriel Relaford, rotator cuff surgery, out for the season. Defensive end.
Is he a big deal?
Starter, yeah.
Starter. Oh, man. Uh-oh.
Yeah, not
and so it begins.
Yeah. I hate injuries.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. So when you hear other fans, Chris, talk and say the things like that, as far as like the defense getting aggravated at the offense and Billy not changing anything on the offense but changing stuff on the defense, how does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, I feel like he has had enough time at Gainesville. You know, I was a supporter of his. I think he did, some things really well, like recruiting and, but as far as not being willing to change anything and just, not putting his ego aside with the play call, and I'm ready to see him gone.
Yeah, and I think that's what everybody is. And when you look at how the offense is ran and then your own defense is aggravated, like you can see the body language on the sidelines, and that's the biggest thing. You don't want to have a losing mentality on the sidelines during a game. And I believe that about him. Now, you made mention of not hiring a Louisiana style coach. Now, Jeff's not taking offense to that. Tell the listeners exactly what you mean when you say you didn't want a Louisiana coach, because he got a little offended. I could tell.
I just meant that I did not want another generic coach just from, coming out of nowhere, basically. Like, the Billy Napier experiment, it went badly wrong. And we've done this before, with a couple other coaches, that Coach McElwain, things like that, that wasn't, just basically this next coach with all the coaching, changes Florida has went through. They've really got to make sure to vet the right guy. They've got to. It's personally, I would prefer, at someone in the SEC or capable of joining the SEC. But just Billy was from Louisiana, and it has nothing to do with the state of Louisiana.
Actually, he's from Tennessee, and he played in South Carolina. I can't remember if it was Wofford or where he played, but it was in the Carolinas where he played. He's actually not a New Orleans or Louisiana person. And let me ask you, if Willie Fritz, who did coach at Tulane and is now at the University of Houston, you wouldn't be for him?
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of stuck on the idea of someone of Lane Kiffin, magnitude, or Urban Meyer. I'm not really open to that. Eli from, Missouri, that would be
Drunkowitz.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, well, let me just say this, and we've talked about this before. We've said this before on the show. There are some coaches that can coach at big programs, and then there are some coaches that are better at smaller programs. And listen, Billy Napier, whether people like him, hate him, whatever, he's a good football coach. And the thing is that the job is just too big for him at this point. I don't think he's I don't think he's bad at coaching. I think sometimes when you get to be in these big, large markets, I mean, the Florida Gator brand is a huge brand. You've got all of these championships that they played for, went to, Heisman Trophy winners, all of that. that you've got the brand. And when you have somebody coming from, Louisiana Raging Cajuns to come and coach at the University of Florida, it's a total different ball game where you're coaching up 2- and 3-star people. Now you've got 5 stars that you've got to know how to coach them, and not everybody can do that. And that's the big thing about Billy Napier being at Florida. But also, with the Florida brand, you've got to be able to bring in a big coach. Yeah, I think I agree with you, Chris, on that. I don't think you go looking in the Sun Belt. I don't think you're looking in the AAC. I don't think you're looking at, a lower level Big 12 team. I don't think you're looking for a lower level Big 10 team. I think you really aren't looking. I mean, realistically, when you look at it, you want an SEC coach because it's going to take that type of coach to win those kind of games and still be able to recruit in your state, because that's the number one thing about Florida. Obviously, this is a portal year. NIL matters. I'm not saying that. But you still have to win your state. If you can't win your state, at least win half of your recruits. You got to get talent down there to be able to win, because you don't want to be like, and I'm not trying to I don't want anybody from Florida State to call in and get mad at me right here. But when you look at it, you can't just build a free agent team every single year, because what happens is that you're going to swing and miss on a couple of those free agent picks, and you're going to see what you saw with Florida State last year.
So there was a coach that went to LSU that coached while I was up there in Baton Rouge, and his name was Jerry DiNardo. Yeah. And he found success at Vanderbilt, which he's playing with 2- and 3-star players. And he gets to LSU, and guess what he had? He had 5 stars there. Yeah. And he turned that program around from Curly Hallman dark years. He turned the program around. And then he had like 1, maybe 2 losing seasons. And then he was out, and then Nick Saban came in. Yeah. And finished the job that had already been turned around. And Jerry DiNardo beat number 1 Florida Gators, who were on a winning streak because they had previously, I believe, won the national title the year before in Tiger Stadium. So this is like accomplishments. Now, so you're saying that a coach that's coaching 2 and 3, they can't coach 5 stars?
I'm not saying that they can't coach 5 stars, but what you're wanting, what you're looking for is that coach that's not the in-betweener coach that just turns a program around and can't do it any longer, but actually finishes it. Longevity makes it happen over time, and doesn't go from taking a 2 and 10 team and turning them around and getting them to 9 and 3 this season, 10 and 2 maybe, and then all of a sudden now they're just going to be a mid-level team for the rest of the time. And that's exactly what happened with Jerry DiNardo. Those type of guys are guys that come in and turn programs. And realistically, when you look at it, Urban Meyer's that guy, because what does he do? He comes into a program, he gets them to the promised land, and then a couple of years later, they're still good, but he hands it off. I mean, that's just what he's done. And so that's kind of the college coaches that you have. And, and it's like some of the, I'm going to read here, that says, get the checkbook out, it's Lanning or Lane. So there you go. So that's it. The Florida
Lanning from Oregon.
Dan Lanning.
Yeah, Dan Lanning.
From Oregon or Lane Kiffin, because realistically, it's spend the money, get the guy, no playing around, no more. I believe the fans of Florida, they know what winning looks like, and they want a winner to come in right now. They don't want a bridge burner. They don't want somebody that's going to turn it for the next, to the next guy, that kind of thing. They want, and I'll just say it, they want a Nick Saban. They want somebody that's going to come in, that's going to stay for 10 years and get them in the college football playoff and have a chance to win the SEC and the college football playoffs. Wouldn't you agree with that, Chris?
Yes, I would agree with that, actually. The only problem is, they don't ever give them past the, 4-year mark. They've got to, start winning right away. So that's something that I'm interested to just, see how this all goes.
Yeah, and the thing is like, I'll give you my, honest opinion about Lane Kiffin. I think he's a great coordinator. I think he's great. And, I mean, I think that would be a huge splash hire. I think Lane would bring so much excitement to the Florida Gator fan base. I think it would be a huge deal for them. And I think Lane could get you to the playoff. I think that. I just worry with Lane that Lane kind of sometimes gets in Lane's own way. And I think, that would be the only, if there's a skirt or whatever you call it, a little bit of a pause, is Lane going to be the Lane at Tennessee? Is Lane going to be the Lane at USC? Is Lane going to be the Lane at Ole Miss? And I'm kind of like, I don't really know, and who would he surround himself with? Who would he bring in? And that's the kind of things that I would wonder about Lane Kiffin. You know what I mean? Does that make sense, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of fans' argument about not wanting Lane Kiffin is that Billy beat him last year, But what I like to, say is, really, Ole Miss actually, beat us as far as, yardage and everything like that. It was just, Jackson Dart not executing, Lane's plan the best that really cost them that game.
Yeah, and that's true. And I believe the Florida fans are ready. So they're ready for a big hire. They're ready for a splash hire. And there's no reason why you can't just go get John Gruden. But anyway, we're going to have to take our break until the top of the hour. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 7T Studio Line.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
The problem is execution. He's not developing the players Monday through Friday. He gets up there on the podium and says all these great things. Everybody knows Billy's a great guy, and I agree he is. But he's not a head coach for the SEC. He's way in over his head.
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays, 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. A variety of partly cloudy skies and a chance of thunderstorms tonight with very little wind and temps near 72. Tomorrow morning we will have mostly sunshine and be quite warm at 81. Mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening and a high 85. Sunshine Sunday with a temp of 89. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida, Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
Bringing you the world's #1 auto brand is a lot of fun. Camrys and Tacomas, Land Cruisers and Grand Highlanders. Toyotas are just built to be better.
And that's exactly how we built Panama City Toyota, to give you a better experience.
Where your needs always come first. Where you can relax with a great cup of coffee or browse the Heritage Collection. While we help you add the perfect vehicle to your collection. Come see us today at Panama City Toyota.
WVLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX-LG, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's Football Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's a top 10 showdown in the Big Ten. 6th-ranked Oregon travels to Happy Valley to face number 3 Penn State in the whiteout game.
One of the best atmospheres in all of college football. This is the best atmosphere.
We've played in good environments before. They described it as a good one. Number 6 Oregon at 3rd-ranked Penn State.
Coverage starts Saturday at 6 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. Pound the like and crush the subscribe. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson is live on YouTube. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
music, you know what time it is. It's 5 o'clock on a Friday. You made it through the weekend. Here we go. We're pumped up here at the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. And, man, I'm excited to talk about more of this college football slate that's coming up tomorrow. And, you know, I just want to say, man, it was a tough week. Everybody had a tough week. It was a tough week, but thankfully you made it. We got Jeff in here, as always, on a Friday. Jeff, man, good to see you. I know we've already started talking, and we can't leave out the Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher, how does it feel to you that it's Friday and it's already 5 o'clock and that most people are already off work?
Hey, Pookie.
That definitely was good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that feels great. All right. So, and also don't forget, we got Chris Hobzilla on the phone, Florida insider, big-time fan. Chris, we're going to go into a little bit more about these Gators, and once we're done with the Gators, you can stick around and give us your opinion on this Alabama-Georgia game that we got to talk about. But, Chris, has John Gruden kind of just went off the page? Because that was the early guy that everybody was talking about. You see people using the AI on Facebook and different places, having John Gruden already in the Jordan outfit. Has he already kind of left the building as far as coming to Florida?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that he's left the building, but just honestly, when I'm talking to, the people that are in Gainesville and different places that are giving me information on this stuff, he has not really came up at all.
So, yeah, so he's kind of the dark horse in this race, which is good for me. Because if Kalen DeBoer doesn't pull it off this year, we can call old John Gruden and grab him and bring him over to the Bama and get him to say, "Roll Tide." Why are you saying that? You don't like John Gruden?
No, it's just I don't see him in red. I just don't see it.
It's crimson, friend.
Yeah,
it's
crimson. I'm not sure what the difference is. A little darker?
A little darker, yeah.
A little darker.
Red is red, crimson is crimson.
Scarlet is scarlet.
Yeah.
And the tears are all clear.
That is correct. So, Chris, have you heard of anybody? I know you said this earlier, but just for the people, who's coming back? Who's going to be ready for this Texas game coming up?
Well, I mean, the good news is, I've talked about him a few times on the show. Five-star Dallas Wilson, he's not actually coming back. This will be his debut game, so something I meant to mention earlier, I didn't get a chance to, was basically that, I'm interested to see when the Texas game comes around. I know it's not this weekend, it's the next, but I'm interested to see, obviously, how Dallas does, but I also want to see the team's, demeanor and things like that on the sideline and just see how it looks. Like you probably may be able to tell it's over already, in Gainesville. That's what I'm interested in because, like I said, DJ has spoke with the coach about, hey, they know our plays, things like that. And it can't be real pretty right now, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, and that's really what I'm wondering. I'm wondering because I believe that Billy Napier, I think he's, like I said earlier, I think he's a good coach. But I just think that this might just be the wrong fit, the wrong expectation. Me and Jeff were talking at the break, and that's the kicker. You've got these expectations when you come to these programs, and it's usually the blue bloods. It's the same thing as it is for football as it is in basketball. If you look at like Kentucky or Kansas or Duke or North Carolina, when you don't win basketball games, they're ready to get rid of their coach. When you see Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Tennessee, Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, you see all these teams that have had great coaches or legendary coaches and has won national championships. The expectation is championships. It's not anything else but championships. And so that's the biggest kicker with a job like Florida. When you take a job like Florida, you got to realize that it's either win a national title or leave, because that's what the expectation is from the fans. And I mean, I didn't put LSU in there, but I should have. LSU's another one of those things. Brian Kelly's seat has been hot for so long. It's not right now because why? Because they're winning. Mm-hmm. But as soon as they lose their first game, as soon as they have a bad game against somebody that they not necessarily are supposed to lose to, you're going to start hearing the birds come back of fire Brian Kelly because he was on the hot seat. Had Auburn lost to Oklahoma like blowout fashion, Hugh Freeze would have had the birds coming out saying, hey, fire Hugh Freeze, because there's an expectation that these coaches are supposed to win national championship games.
Yeah, for LSU, that's Arkansas and South Carolina. And if, God forbid, Vanderbilt, even though Vanderbilt's built, a bit of a, averageness in the SEC, I guess you could say, right? Yeah. They're average SEC. And another thing that's really bad is to lose to Texas A&M 2 years in a row. I don't think we've done that, ever.
No, that's right.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of our staples that we take pride in. We beat A&M.
Yeah, one of our listeners, Kevin Sosha, he said Gruden is a great character coach, but I wouldn't want him. And now this is the Alabama fan. The college environment would eat him up at this point in his career. He would be learning on the job. And then this is kind of funny right here. He says, ain't nobody got time for that.
I ain't having time for that.
No, sir. So, yeah, so maybe Gruden is not the guy. You know what I mean? So, Chris, does that sound like something that you believe, too, as well as for him to come to Florida?
Yeah, I just honestly, I feel like I would have already heard, more about, the potential of it. He did say he wants to coach in the SEC, so, give it a little bit more time because, Billy technically has not been, announced fired, but, it's just it's a possibility with Gruden, but there's some stuff off the field that, went along with Gruden that I just don't see fitting with Florida, so.
Yeah, that's true too. Let me ask you this real quick, and we're gonna go into something else after this. As far as Billy Napier, in your heart of hearts right now, do you believe that they're going to let him go during the season, or do you think they're going to be gentlemen to him and keep him and then just fire him at the end of the season?
The way the story, the way I was told, it almost sounds like it's a silent firing as of now, that, it's already happened, but they're just going through the motions for whatever reason. So, it could be as soon as the Texas loss, or it could be, at the end of this year, but I really don't see any possibility of 2026. Here's Billy Napier in Gainesville.
So if he were to wrap off the next 5 games against all this tough SEC opponents like he did last year, you don't think there's any possible way that Billy Napier could save his job?
No.
What? The Longhorns and the Aggies back-to-back? The Longhorns and the Aggies back-to-back games like that? To average it out to 3-3? And then you got Mississippi State.
I just, with the information that I've been given, I really don't think he'll make it. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're really done with him. Yeah. And if you know what's crazy to me, Chris, is that if you know it, the players know it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
that's why I want to see how they look on, the Texas sideline, in Gainesville, of course. But I'm just saying during the Texas game, I want to see how they're looking, if they're actually looking down or, how it's going to be. But, 2 players that just was quickly rattled off went into his office, complaining about the plays and things. And, supposedly that's what's hindering DJ, is that he's trying to make things happen during plays that are supposed to be running this way. He's running them that way. So.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I want to go ahead and make I want everybody to know that, give a little bit of show what's going on with the show on Monday. We have a special guest for Monday at 4 o'clock. I want to go ahead and make this little dig here. At 4 o'clock, the former voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, none other than the GOAT, Eli Gold, is going to be joining us at 4 o'clock on Monday. So make sure everybody, if you're listening right now or if you're watching the show later after we've gone off the air, just know that Eli Gold is going to be right here with us. We're going to be talking about this Alabama-Georgia game that's coming up on Saturday. So he'll be with us at 4 o'clock on Monday, and I'm super excited about it, because I think he is the absolute GOAT of broadcasting now, not just because of Alabama, but he's done all kinds of stuff, and just his voice is just a voice that you can't never forget. So anyway, just wanted to make a plug about that. Eli Gold, Monday at 4 o'clock. Now, let's talk about this Florida State-Virginia game that's going to be happening tonight. Now, it's going to be at Virginia. You know that Virginia's going to bring the fans out. They're going to be loud. They're going to try to disrupt everything that Castellanos is going to be trying to do at the line of scrimmage. Gus gives him a couple of plays to check into, check out of, because he's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing with the offense. He's had enough. The biggest thing is that they've talked about all week that he was hurt in the last game, and they were wondering if he was going to be fine, but all the reports are saying that he's going to be fine. Now, Chris, we haven't really talked about that, and I know you're a Florida fan, and I know you probably don't love the Seminoles, but what do you see this game being like tonight? Do you think Florida State hammers them? Do you think it stays close? Do you think they get the upset? Where are you leaning towards tonight?
I mean, they're scoring so many points, and their defense is looking really good as well. So it's hard to really, I noticed earlier it's a 7.5, point game, basically, is the way they're looking at it. And, I don't know, man. Florida State, and I guess this game will give us a little bit more clarity on them. It's still early in the season. They got the backup quarterback, Sperry, if Castellanos does go down. So, I really don't see them losing, even if they had to put the backup in, So, but as far as hammering them, I don't know if, finally teams are getting enough, film on what Gus is trying to do that maybe they can put something together that kind of stops Florida State.
63.5 point over under. You think it's over?
It's over.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. I don't know, man. I could see this game being one of those games. I haven't looked at the weather. The weather could always play a factor in these type of games like this at night, on a Friday night. You know how a storm could come in and wet the field and get really
It's the middle of Virginia. It's not Florida. There's no lightning.
Yeah, well, you never know.
I was just going to say, I think Florida State is out to prove points, this year, like when they, basically were left out the year before and then they went 2-10. I really feel like they're going to be, trying to, keep the pedal to the metal every game they play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. When you look at what they're doing, though, let's look at Virginia. And I'm not a big fan of Virginia, but I did look at them and I did see what they've done. They've lost one game to North Carolina State, and it was a close game. And the quarterback threw an interception with 1 minute and 4 seconds to go in the end zone. So that ended the game. They were on like the 12-yard line. And they've got some athletes up there. So it's going to be, I'm curious to see how they're going to go. I don't see it being a blowout. I don't see Florida State just jumping out and scoring 1 million points. I don't see them doing like what they did against Alabama. I think this is going to be one of those games where you're going to really see, like what Chris said, is like, is Florida State for real? Do they have the pedigree to not just get up for a big game, or are they looking forward to that Miami game next week? Because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's what because that's really what I'm thinking. Because when you look at a Florida State team, when you have a team that you're thinking is going to go play in the playoffs, you're going to have those games where not everything is rolling for you. You're going to have those games where somebody's going to play you tougher than they've played anybody else. This is going to be their Super Bowl, that type of deal, like what Alabama gets all the time. And you've got to still be able to stick in there and play and do the things well. And you might have to win ugly. I remember those times when we would be at Alabama with Coach Saban, coach team, and we'd be, barely beating a Missouri team, barely beating a Mississippi State team, barely beating an A&M team that wasn't good at the time based off of their record.
Yeah, and a 5-6 Auburn. How many times has that happened?
Yeah.
I mean, and Auburn comes out to play because they're like, oh, we had y'all marked off on our schedule.
And that's the big thing. That's the big thing about it now. And that's where when you start winning ball games, this is what happens. This is a part of being a good football team, is now you're going to start getting everybody's best. And what happens is the good teams that can weather the storm, that can get through it, are the type of teams that go on and win championships, or at least try to win championships. But the teams that can't do these things, these games, yes, you got up for Alabama. Great job. You did wonderful. Are you going to be up for Miami? Are you going to be able to do this? Are you going to be able to play Florida tight? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to be able to, but are you going to go up to little Virginia in the middle of nowhere and be able to, run your offense in a hostile crowd that they're going to be screaming every time you take the field?
That's a basketball school. And you know what? The Gators right now are a basketball and baseball school. Oh, I'm sorry.
Chris, don't let him talk to you like that.
I think y'all have someone in diving, too.
Yeah, because that basketball this year, they were really good. So.
They won a national title.
Yeah, I mean,
and in baseball, they were right up in there, like number 3 or number 4 in the conference. And the SEC really looked like they were dominating, and then the regionals kind of fell flat. And so LSU and Arkansas were the only 2 to make it to Omaha.
Yeah. Speaking of baseball, we have the connection with the Arnold High School baseball team. Eli Blair and Cooper Moss, they both went to the University of Florida. They'll be freshmen this year, and we've actually had them on the show already. So it's a cool thing that we'll be able to check in with them and see how they go. Yeah. Hey, do you know Cooper and Eli, Chris? Have you heard of them?
No, I have not.
Yeah, they're from Arnold, and this will be their first year, and they're going to be freshmen over there at the University of Florida. So it's going to be pretty awesome to see them.
Yeah, that is awesome. I'll check that out.
So yeah, we'll be able to check in with them. But yeah, Chris, so give me your score before we take our break. Florida State, Virginia tonight. What do you think?
42-24, Florida State.
Wow, so you're a believer. So you believe Florida State's really good then?
Well, here's the deal. Every time that Florida State's not going to be good, I start thinking, hey, Florida State's, not going to be good, and it happens. But it's teams like this year when I doubt Florida State that I lose all my money. So.
Well, he's the only one that's picked the over basically on this one, because 66 points.
Is that? Yeah, because
42-24. Yeah.
Yeah,
they can score, guys. Yeah. That team with Gus and Mike it's kind of not fair, really.
Yeah, I mean, Virginia allowed 35. NC State scored 35 on them. So if NC State can score 35, Florida State could easily score 35, at least,
Yeah, that's true.
As bad as I want them to be bad, I just don't see it.
Yeah, don't see it. Not against Virginia.
Now, would that make your weekend if Florida State loses?
Ooh.
Oh, it would be great. It would be, I would feel a lot better about, playing Florida State at home at the end of the year, and just in general, I love watching Florida State lose. It's almost as much as watching the Gators win.
So it would make it more if they were 11-0 and then lost to the Gators?
I mean, yeah, that would be awesome, too. I would love to keep them out of the playoffs. Solely be the whole reason. That would be better. But if they could start losing again like they were last year, I would love it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's real fandom right there. That's when when you care about your competitor or your in-state rival to lose. That's when because I don't know. I don't really, for me, Auburn, I don't like Auburn. Don't get me wrong. I don't like Auburn. I don't want them to win. I don't want Tennessee to win.
But when they're playing Oklahoma.
It just really depends on what helps Alabama. If it's beneficial for Alabama, for Auburn to beat Oklahoma, then so be it.
In the strength of schedule, it's all the same because you play both of them.
Yeah, now when Cam Newton beat us. Now, see, everybody don't realize this. Let me just go into this real quick because I love this. I don't love this, but I want to tell this.
Yeah.
When Cam Newton had to come from behind to beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl, the year Auburn won the national title, we were undefeated. Auburn was undefeated. There was no playoff at this time. Auburn went to the SEC championship and won, and then, boom, played Oregon for the national championship. There wasn't 2 games. There was just 1 game, and that's the way it was set up. You guys do realize that was another opportunity for a national title that had they had a playoff, we probably would have beat them that year because it's hard to beat somebody twice if we would have had to have played them again, kind of like what we did with LSU.
Oh, yeah.
Same type of deal. And
it would be interesting, though, would have Alabama been number 3 or number 4, and whether they would have met Oregon first. That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting because it would just depend on how they ranked them.
Because the next year, the team that choked, that kept Alabama and put Alabama in the national championship, it was Oklahoma State. It was Gundy.
Yes.
Yeah. They're the ones that choked in 2011.
His elbow hit the ground before he got to the goal line with the football.
I mean, a whole program just hinged on one play like that.
And it's over.
Yeah. And then the other one was in 2007, LSU was not supposed to go to the national championship. And West Virginia lost to Pitt. And the coach was Dave Wannstedt, the old Bears coach. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that these schools who haven't been to a national championship, I mean, I think Oklahoma State went in the 50s, but, you know, I mean, it's a super long time.
That was Pat White, Greg Slayton.
Oh, yeah. Tavon Austin?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
West Virginia team.
Yeah, that West Virginia. Golly. I forgot his name.
How can you forget his name?
It was a weird name, wasn't it?
He's there now. He's their coach now.
Yeah. It's not Rich Rodriguez.
Yes, that's who it is.
Oh, I thought it was the other guy.
No, it was Rich Rod.
I thought it was the one that started with a H, like Humboldt or something like that.
No, it was Rich Rod.
Rich Rod.
You're talking about the one that was at Houston at the time before then. But anyway, we're going to have to take our next break. And when we come back, we are going to discuss Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, and the SEC. You're listening to the Sports Blitz at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida broadcasts the biggest and best games of the week. We're your headquarters for premier matchups, huge rivalries, and fan favorites.
Saturday, it's Auburn at Texas A&M. Coverage at 1:30, kickoff at 2:30. Followed by Oregon at Penn State.
The Gulf Coast headquarters for college football is 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your weather forecast on this Friday. A variety of partly cloudy skies and a chance of thunderstorms tonight with very little wind and temps near 72. Tomorrow morning we will have mostly sunshine and be quite warm at 81. Mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening and a high 85. Sunshine Sunday with a temp of 89. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida, Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida.
Looking for a new way to explore Bay County? Or maybe your trusty bike needs a tune-up? Head to Steve's Bike Shop. They've got a huge selection of new and used bicycles, plus the latest electric bikes to get you where you need to go fast. And if your bike is acting up, their expert technicians repair all makes and models, even electric bikes. Serving Bay County for 46 years. Steve's Bike Shop, 1924 West 23rd Street, right across from Sam's. Steve's Bike Shop. Your ride starts here.
Krispy Kreme Donuts has whipped up a little magic for Harry Potter fans. A donut collection inspired by the House of Hogwarts, the Sorting Hat, and a shimmering golden latte. The Harry Potter collection now available for a limited time at Krispy Kreme Donuts in front of HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan. Krispy Kreme Donuts since 1937, where you get them hot.
The 2025 Atlanta Braves always find the will to battle back, and they're looking to close the year out strong.
Michael Harris has something to say. Belts one to deep right field, and long gone.
Tonight, be here for the final series of the 2025 season as Ozzy Albies and the Braves close out the year against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Braves pregame 6 o'clock, first pitch 6:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Transmitting from their CBC Construction Studio. They're number one. in the men's room.
I hope this place comes with toilet paper.
The Sports Blitz.
Oh, geez, this is going to be a photo finish.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget you can check us out on Facebook, ESPN Northwest Florida, on YouTube, and as well as the ESPN Northwest Florida app. Don't forget, you can also call us in on the Red 70s phone line, 850-215-6290. We're excited that you're here. It's 5:25, 26, 27, somewhere around there. Either way, whether you're headed to eat dinner, maybe you're going to be going and catching one of the high school football games. There's some cool football games going on tonight. We've got Mosley and Milton at Tommy Oliver, and then Arnold is playing, and I just lost it. I can't remember who they're playing, but they're playing at home. And then Dean Bozeman's playing Port St. Joe. So at Port St.
That's the
Joe.
Sharks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So go out, support those guys, be shouting for them, screaming for them. I think Mosley's got homecoming this weekend. So, yeah, it's going to be somebody's going to win the Queen and the King tonight. So
your high school, what was the mascot?
Viking.
Ooh, we were the Irish.
What does that mean?
We were the Irish, like Notre Dame Irish.
So y'all had like
we're the
little
Irish.
leprechaun running around or what?
Yeah, little leprechaun, yeah. That's why we lost all our games. Little guy.
All right, Jeff, what you got for us?
I got big games mean big opinions. Find out where the public money is going daily on Hard Rock Bets Discover page. Then you can decide if you want to ride or fade on your next bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT IT.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Jeff. We got Chris Hobbzilla still on the phone with us. Chris, do you check out any of the high school games that are going to be around here this weekend?
I might actually be going to the Mosley game. I'm not 100% sure. I did just bet the over on Florida State, though, since you guys reminded me. So,
well, let us know if you win that one, because that'd be kind of curious to see. Because I just don't see it. What did I put down, Jeff? As my what was my score?
You were way under. You were the lowest of everybody. Yeah. You were 24-21.
Okay, so there you go. And I picked Florida State, so we'll see what happens. I mean, now let's dive into this Alabama-Georgia game. Now, obviously, this is a big rivalry game because of the two storied programs coming together. It's usually won by the team that's the home team. And when you look at it, it's going to be a tough road for Alabama. It's got to be one of those things where Alabama has to start off really fast because Georgia, they're not. And don't get me wrong, they did good last year. They come back with Carson Beck, and then against Tennessee this year, they were down early and came back with Gunnar Stockton. I just feel like you have to just score and just let things take place however they're going to take place, but I don't see Gunnar Stockton being able to continue doing this. I think that if Alabama can jump on them early, I don't think Gunnar Stockton's going to keep. I just don't think he's going to do it. And I get it. I think Alabama, the only way they got a chance is that way. I think that's the only way. I don't think Alabama's built to be a team that can just grind out wins, running the ball, taking care of the ball, having possession longer than the other team. I think it's a wide open offense. You're going to have to outscore whoever you're going to play, just because of the last two seasons. I mean, I know this season hasn't been a lot, but Alabama, the way it looks like, the way that their coaching style and the way it works is that you're just going to have to outscore people. I don't love that.
Well, if you don't have a running game, I guess you're going to have to pass, or you're going to have to get some turnovers and churn out some points off of turnovers, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but
and y'all jumped up on them so big, and they came back on you last year.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they ran out of time, but there's a possibility if they were given more time, that game would have come down to the wire.
Yeah, but we do have our leading rusher from last year coming back. That's not Jalen Milroe, which is Jam Miller. And so, I mean, this is his first game back. We've got our defensive tackle back, Tim Keenan, who hasn't played all year. So both of those guys haven't played all year, and they were starters coming in. They both got hurt at practice. So, I mean, that's, that's something that's positive for us. But like I said, Alabama is going to have to score some points, and they're going to have to score early because you don't want to get there and hear all that barking mess that they do because it's going to be loud. I mean, it is going to be loud. Georgia's a loud place. Athens is hard to play. I can't remember what their record is
at home.
At home, I think they're 33-0 or something right now.
Cool.
So it's not good. But the other thing is, I think Kirby Smart is like 65-0 when he scores more than 35 points or something like that. So
I can't name two teams from the same conference that have met each other twice in a national championship game, and these are the two teams. Alabama, Georgia met twice in national championship.
Yeah.
No other two teams from the same conference have ever done that.
Wow.
LSU and Alabama met that one time. There might have been some in the past where, you had Ohio State maybe meeting somebody, but no, never twice, Yeah. This is not just a dominant conference, but this is a dominant rivalry, and they don't even play every year.
No.
I mean, SEC championships, we had some memorable ones like that. Otherwise, they're playing each other once every 7 years.
Yeah.
And we're still talking about it. And it goes over to like gymnastics and other sports and everything also. But yeah, this is not, would you say it's a hated rivalry? I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, let me just say this for Alabama fans. A lot of the Alabama fans, oddly enough, because Kirby, when he left, Kirby took a lot of the coaching staff with him. And so there was this little bit of like mad at Kirby for a little while.
Yeah.
But I think all of that went away.
Yeah.
Because now Kirby represents Nick Saban. Because because he's there, and we don't have Coach Saban in the building anymore, but we also don't have a disciple of Coach Saban in the building. So a lot of Alabama fans, when Alabama's not playing Georgia, I think that's the team they say we'd rather Georgia win than whoever.
So it's the craziest analogy is Bill Belichick was at the Patriots, and guess where Saban went when he went to the pros? The Dolphins. And that was the coaching tree because Saban learned from Belichick.
Yeah.
At the Cleveland Browns.
So Chris, when you look at Georgia and when you look at Alabama, I know you've been able to look at them. What are you thinking? I mean, and look, man, I'm not going to bar you from the show if you say something negative about Alabama. It's okay. So just be honest and say what you want to. The mic is yours, my friend. What do you think about this weekend?
Okay, and it's in Georgia, right?
Yes, at Athens.
Yeah, I mean, with it being in Georgia, with Kirby Smart still being the head coach, with Simpson not being that mobile of a quarterback, I've got to give the edge to, Georgia. It's the home team, and, I really think what Florida State did against Alabama, was impressive and everything, but I feel like Georgia's a better team, even with Stockton, than, FSU is.
Yeah, let me ask y'all both this. Jeff, I'll let you go first. Do you think Gunnar Stockton, like you've seen him enough, you've seen him play last year a little bit when he had to come in relief for Carson Beck, and now you've seen him this year. Do you think Gunnar Stockton is an elite quarterback, number one? Number two, do you think Gunnar Stockton can go anywhere else and do what he's done with another team and lead them? Or is it just like it's just because it's Georgia?
I think he's better than what you have been saying. He is better than what you're saying, but it's the program, and he's not throwing an interception, and he's 70.8% completion rate. And I mean, they need to play the schedule because the schedule is not easy. They're going to be playing Ole Miss. They're going to be playing Texas after this Alabama game. I mean. This is not an easy schedule, and that's the reason why they went 10-2 last year.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and the reason why is because it just seems like I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me. I mean, I don't know. And that's the thing. And it's not anything about rivalry. It's not anything about I think he's a bad kid or anything. I just don't think he's that good. I just don't.
What about Joey Aguilar? Does he do it for you?
I think he's way better. I think Georgia is probably ranked number 1 in the country if Joey Aguilar is their starting quarterback instead of Gunnar Stockton.
And he threw 2 interceptions against Georgia.
It doesn't matter. He's a dynamic player. He can make the throws and the runs where it seems like Gunnar Stockton is running around in concrete and throwing as from his back hip, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he
was a total 5-star in high school.
Do you want
Gunnar
him?
Stockton.
Do you want him at LSU next year on an NIL deal to be your starting quarterback if he stays one more year?
Sure.
Really?
I do. Yeah.
Oh wow! Really?
Take him in a second.
Really?
Do you think Nussmeier really impresses me?
He's like,
and I wanted to like him.
He's like a poor man's Nussmeier to me.
No, absolutely not.
Nussmeier will have more yards at the end of the season than Gunnar Stockton.
It'll be close. Now, Garrett Nussmeier is number 4 right now in the SEC in yardage, and Gunnar Stockton is not top 5.
Not even top 5, and he won't be. He won't be this year.
I don't know if he gets behind a Ole Miss or a Texas. He'll be thrown a lot, and you know how he threw. Well, no, it wasn't him. It was Carson Beck last year.
Yeah.
So we got 2 new quarterbacks in this Georgia-Alabama game.
Yes.
And then the location changed because it was Tuscaloosa last year.
Yep.
The only thing consistent really is the coaches.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they both really didn't know each other last year because they've never really coached against each other.
Yeah.
And so now that they've had 1 year under their belt, now you're going to see the coaching geniuses come together. Yeah, you're going to see you're going to see who's the best coach in this.
So now you're calling DeBoer a genius.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, I'm taking it right out of your mouth. You said it first.
But what I'm saying is we're going to see who the best coach is after you've played them for 1 year. So what do you think, Chris? You think what we're saying makes any sense to you?
Yeah, I mean, it makes plenty of sense. I just think Stockton, has a low ceiling, but he's a great game manager. And as long as he's, like he said, and, Georgia's, basically is at their disposal, he's going to be a good quarterback. I think that system does wonders for quarterbacks, and I feel like they got great quarterback coaches and everything there. It's just an elite school. And not that Alabama isn't, but it's that Florida State game, man. It was hard to watch that and then think that, they have a super good chance against Georgia.
Yeah, and to see what happened last year with Vanderbilt and to see what happened with Oklahoma last year, being beat like that, I think that's taken away the aura of Alabama football. And so teams aren't scared to play them anymore. Teams aren't have that little bit of fear anymore, and it makes people say the things that they're saying online and in the interviews and all of that. Coach Saban's not here anymore, so we're not scared of you anymore. So that's really where the teams are. And so the aura of playing against Alabama just really doesn't have the it factor anymore. And so it makes every team that plays Alabama now feel like they're beatable. Whereas when Coach Saban was there, whether people want to agree with it or not, there was that little bit of voice in the back of their mind that said, gosh, I hate playing Alabama because we probably are going to lose.
And Mike Leach said it best when he was at Mississippi State. He said these guys gave up in the first half because it was Bama.
Yeah.
They were in their heads. I
mean, what sign did you see all across college football during Coach Saban's tenure?
What sign?
The sign that used to be in all of the stadiums, just about every game that you would see.
No, I don't know.
We want Bama.
Oh, yeah.
You would see them everywhere.
We want
Florida
Bama.
State was the big one on that.
Yeah, definitely. I remember that.
This year.
Well, we're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we got to get our NFL pick'ems, and we're going to finish out some of the college football. Thanks for listening. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call in now.
This is Touchstone service.
The Red 70s studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. See Mid-South Lumber for all of your DIY projects, including windows, doors, siding, lumber, and millwork. Are you building a new home? Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, and doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. 717 West 11th Street.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. No, you see, you get $150 in bonus bets after your first $5 bet hits.
Did somebody say hit?
Whoa, Ray Lewis? We were just saying if your bet hits.
Huh? You know I love a good form tackle.
We know, Ray. We know.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
The Kings of the Swamp.
Falls loose at the 38. Gators got it. Wow.
Join Sean Kelly and the rest of the broadcast team as they bring you Gator football all season long.
Quick race down the near sideline. 20, 15, 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Gators.
On your home for Florida football, the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
The Florida Gators play here. Listen to select games on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
If you build it, they will come. We're live from the CBC Construction Studios. ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the new Sports Blitz. Call in with your questions, hot takes, and rants at 850-215-6290. The Sports Talk Monster.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Thank you for listening today. We appreciate it. If you would, give us a like, give us a share, give us a comment on our social media pages. And don't forget, you can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. Jeff's in the building. Bone Crusher's in the building. Chris Hobzilla is on the phone line. You know, guys, we got to look at it. I don't want to not talk about the Alabama game anymore, but I got to move on. Penn State and Oregon. Chris, me and you haven't talked about that game. That's going to be a live game at Penn State, and I just think I had picked that Penn State's going to win. Everybody else has picked Oregon. How do you see that one, my friend?
I mean, I hate to keep busting your bubble and disagreeing with you, but I've got to take Oregon.
Okay, so you think the Ducks. Now, something that was kind of interesting, I don't know if you guys read this or not, but it's stating that Oregon is going to be wearing glow-in-the-dark uniforms this weekend, that it's going to actually be glowing in the dark. So the Ducks with Nike and with all that Nike money now is going to be changing the game and is going to be doing the big-time glow-in-the-dark uniforms. You like that?
Well, if you're going to upstage a whiteout, heck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you know, Penn State's all got all the white helmet and everything, you know?
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. All right. So when you look at that game, I really do believe Penn State's going to have the home field advantage. That's really what you know, I mean.
Well, it's a 3.5 point spread for Penn State.
Okay, so they're actually the overdog then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Penn State's the favorite by 3.5.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were the favorite. Okay, yep. I got you.
53.5 over-under.
That's cool. All right, LSU and Ole Miss. Jeff, you picked LSU, right?
Yeah,
I did too, right? Yeah. Everybody did. Chris, are you still with us? I know we had a problem there with the phones.
I'm taking Ole Miss in that one.
Oh, man. So that is the upset. Okay, I got you.
You'll miss on some.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's all right. You can't win them all.
Yeah,
but either way. All right, well, that is that for college. We're going to look into our pro. And, Chris, if you want to, you can comment. But we're going to go through these pretty quick because we have about 10, 12 minutes left for the regular show. Go ahead.
We went through the first 7, and one of them was the last night game. We all picked Seattle to win, which was an interesting game because Arizona did come back and try and make that a game at 2020, and I turned it off. I missed the them tying it up.
Oh.
Yeah, I had to go to sleep.
Well, good old Marvin Harrison Jr. had a pretty decent night last night.
He didn't have a good first half. They were mad at him.
Yeah.
And then he came back in the fourth quarter and just killed it.
Yeah, he did have a good, because I know you had said something about him.
Now, I thought Sam Darnold, I watched him in the first half, and he just looked like laser focused, like he just was really in his groove.
Yeah.
He looked really good.
Yeah, so.
But they had a good running game, too. Number 9 and another guy for Seattle. They
Kenneth Walker Jr.
The defense was hyped up and all that, but 17-6 lead was not enough to just put them away, and then they came back.
Do you remember him, Kenneth Walker Jr., Michigan State running back? He was Heisman favorite coming into the first 3 or 4 games a couple of years back or whatever. And then that defensive line is anchored by Jaron Reed, which is a former Alabama Crimson Tide player.
I remember him.
Yep. So anyway,
okay, so we're going on Philadelphia at Tampa Bay. I got Philadelphia.
I got Philadelphia there. I think it's going to be a close one. I think Baker Mayfield is going to throw a pick or two in this one. I think he's going to try to do too much. And with Mike Evans being out, I think that's going to really hurt them over the weekend. Yeah. So, and Chris, if you have anything to add to it, you can just say, or if you want to just kind of agree with me because I usually am always right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad one. I just wanted to say a quick note. The former Florida Gator Desmond Watson got assigned to the Bucs supposedly to stop the tush push, but I don't know if he's going to be playing that.
400 pounds, right?
Yeah, 400. Yeah.
Something like that. So, but anyway.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say the Eagles could win that game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We got Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. I'm taking Houston.
Yeah, man, that's going to be tough because I think Houston is just not very good, and Cam Ward is definitely playing good, but the Titans do not have enough firepower. I do think that one will be close, but give me Houston as well.
Yep. Okay, Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Indiana Jones. Colts are going at the Rams.
Okay.
I got the Rams.
So the Rams had a rough game last week against the Eagles by losing with the field goal, getting blocked. But, with Indiana Jones, and it's at the Rams, right?
Yeah, so the stands will be half filled. Sorry, Rams.
But, as much as I've been a big Indiana Jones fan, I don't feel like they're going to get the win on that one. I think that the Rams are going to win that one.
Yep. Okay, next one. This is a tough one, actually, I thought, because San Francisco's missing so many pieces. Jacksonville Jaguars at the 49ers, and Kittle and Purdy are out, right?
Yeah, they're both out.
Yeah, so I'm actually taking San Francisco in this against Jacksonville. And you got to keep in mind, Jacksonville's got a young team, and they've been winning games.
They have been winning games, but I am going with San Francisco as well on that one, for sure.
So we got one game that's different so far. Okay, Ravens at Chiefs. I got Chiefs. These two teams are 1-2. The Ravens and the Chiefs are 1-2 playing each other.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this. As much as I think that the Chiefs can win this game, I don't believe they will. Give me the Ravens for sure.
That's not a bad bet. This is a hard pick for me.
Yeah.
Okay, Chicago at Raiders, and I got Chicago Bears.
Chicago at the Raiders. Yeah, I think Chicago is going to win that. I think they're doing pretty good with Ben Johnson. I think he's getting Caleb Williams to be the type of quarterback that's successful and playing some winning football. So, yeah, give me them.
So, do you think it was a fluke that they lost in week 1 versus the Vikings?
No, it's not a fluke.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay. Green Bay is going to kill the Cowboys. The game is in Dallas.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be Micah Parsons coming back. So I believe that'll be the deal. I think they'll beat them.
Okay, Jets at Dolphins. I got the Jets, and it breaks my heart to pick the Jets, but I'm picking the Jets at the Dolphins.
You think the Jets are going to beat the Dolphins?
Yeah, I do. The Jets almost beat the Bucs last week, remember?
Yeah.
I think they're due. Both teams are 0-3, just to let you know.
No. Give me the Dolphins.
Okay.
I think the Dolphins are going to come back. What do you think about that, Chris? Are you a Dolphin fan at all?
I mean, I do think that, the Dolphins are going to find a way to lose it. That's what I'll give you that much.
Now, that is a Monday night game. They have 2 Monday night games this week.
Man, that's pretty trash.
Yeah. The late game is going to be the Broncos are at home against the Bengals, who are all beat up.
Oh, wow.
And I got the Broncos.
Yeah. Give me the Broncos.
Denver Broncos. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So we got 1, 2, 3 games picked differently. You have Carolina, and I have New England. And that's an iffy one. And you have Baltimore, I have Kansas City. That'd be crazy to think that Kansas City's going to start at 1-3 after the Super Bowl. We're not going to call that a hangover.
All right, here we go. We're going to go into a trivia real quick, Chris, and you are going to get to go first. So how this is going to work, I'm going to tell you guys what it is. You're going to name a team, and I'll tell you if they made the list or not. This is the schools with the most pro football Hall of Famers all time. What college program has the most pro football Hall of Famers of all time? Chris, you get to go first. Who's your first team? Give it to me.
Alabama.
Alabama is checking in at number 8. They're tied. Here we go. Jeff, what you got?
Penn State.
Penn State is tied at number 9. Chris, where you at? Bueller.
I'm going to just say Florida.
Florida did not make the list. All right, Jeff, what you got?
Michigan.
Michigan is number 5 on the list, tied with someone they hate.
Oh, God.
Go ahead, Chris.
Ohio State.
Ohio State and Michigan are tied at number 5. They both have 9 Hall of Famers from their team. Alabama had 8 and Penn State had 6. All right, Jeffrey.
USC.
USC is number 1 with 14 Hall of Famers. USC is the number 1. Where you at, Chris?
I mean, that's where I was going with mine. You said that's the number 1 pick, right?
Yep, that's number 1.
So he wins.
Who you got?
I mean, he took who I was going to pick. So, I mean, we'll just throw this one out there for fun. I know it's not correct, but Florida State.
Florida State is not on the list. All right, Jeffrey.
Texas Longhorns.
The Texas Longhorns did not make the list. What? Oh yeah.
God.
He said that with so much confidence, too. He was about to write it down.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Chris, what you got, buddy?
UCLA.
UCLA is tied for number 9 with 6 Hall of Fame players. How about that? All right, we only have about 3 minutes left. Oklahoma Sooners did not make the list. Get out of here.
Goodness.
Here we go. Go ahead, Chris, who you got?
World?
Auburn.
Auburn did not make the list. Okay, Jeff, what you got?
This is a toss-up, but I'm going to go Tennessee.
Tennessee did not make the list. All right, Chris, you guys are batting not very good. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay. Did we already say Ohio State?
Yeah, you did.
That's right. And we said Michigan.
Bueller.
This one's just for fun, just to try to get it over with, because I honestly don't know the answers. It's Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt is not on the list.
Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Notre Dame is tied for number 2 with 11. Tied for number 2 with 11. All right, Chris, who you got, buddy?
South Carolina.
South Carolina is not on the list. All right, who you got, Jeff?
Purdue.
Purdue is not on the list. Bone Crusher, why don't you throw me one in there real quick? Give me somebody.
Let's go between the hedges for them Georgia Bulldogs.
The Georgia Bulldogs is not on the list. Oh, man, I hope that's what is coming for this weekend. A bunch of losers.
Do we have an Illinois on there?
Illinois is not on the list. Chris, you got any more?
Indiana.
Indiana did not make the list. What about
BYU?
BYU is not on the list.
Wow, this is a hard one. It's got to be East Coast. It's got to be Syracuse.
Syracuse made the list at number 8. They're tied with Alabama at the 7th spot. So there you go, man. Well, I'll tell you what.
We got 2 missing.
Yep, we got 3 missing.
Oh,
We got
6,
1,
8.
2.
I got 8 of them.
Well, there's tied. There's
a tie
tied.
to
Yeah,
10.
so we got
Okay.
4 teams that we've left out.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Since this is Friday, I'm so disappointed with you. I'm so disappointed with you as being an LSU Tiger fan.
There's
LSU is tied for 9th with 6 NFL Hall of Fame players. And I cannot believe that
name them.
You don't wear no LSU shirt in here no more if you can't pick your team for that. And I'm going to tell the rest
You know
of
how many
it.
quarterbacks? 0.
Yeah, obviously.
You know how many running backs? 0.
Well, I'm going to tell you the rest of them, and you guys will get to hear them. At number 2, tied with Notre Dame, is 11 players in the Football Hall of Fame. Miami.
Oh, Hurricane.
Forgot about the Hurricanes. Yeah, you should have went with that. Pitt and Arizona State rounded out the top.
Arizona State's surprising.
But we've made it to the weekend, guys. We appreciate you listening with us, and you make sure that come Monday you listen in. We've got the GOAT, the legendary Eli Gold at 4 o'clock on Monday. You've been listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN. Have a great weekend and be careful.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
Hey, this is Paul Wilson with the Sports Blitz. Have a great weekend listening to all the college and NFL football on ESPN Northwest Florida. Then join me back here on Monday at 4 as I get to interview the legendary Alabama Crimson Tide broadcaster Eli Gold, the GOAT, right here on the Sports